this tutorial is to walk you through 7-1 on using functions in pseudocode. In step 1, we're going to examine the three parts of a function header. That includes the header, the body, and the return statement. Now, the first part, which is the header, which is step A, will specify the data type, which would be here, and then the value, and then the name of the function. In step A, it says write a function with the header name add10. So add10 will go here, and then you always precede it with the data type of add10. In this case, it's integer, so without the values would look like that. Now in step B, it says the function is going to accept an integer named number. So again, we put in here integer and then number. Now in this situation, we don't have to worry about the reference variable or the ref because we're going to return it out of the function. That's the big difference between modules and functions. Step C, enter in a number and then add that number to 10, and that's going to be stored in the variable number. So we take in a number and then we modify it by adding 10 to it. And then in step D, it says the return statement will return the value of number. So that will simply be number. Now in this, the important thing to examine is that this variable is of the data type integer, which is why our function has the data type of integer. So keep that in mind with your future functions. Now in step 2, we're just simply making a function call to the function we just coded. So function calls, we're going to set number because we're returning it. They only include the name of the function and then the variable that is being passed as an argument. Never does it include data types in function calls. Now in the second portion of this lab, you're going to work with Boolean variables. So the major difference here is that our data type of whatever we're returning, now in step D it says the return statement will return the value of answer, so that data type of our function is going to match the data type of answer. Well, in step B, you'll notice it says the function will accept a Boolean variable named answer. So in this situation, it will be Boolean. And then you'll fill out the name of the function and also the variable that you're passing, which is Boolean answer. Now here we're just going to take in type. We declare that as a local variable because we're only using it there. And then we're going to compare type to male or female and set the Boolean variable answer to true or false. Steps 2 is to write a function call to that, similar to the previous portion. Now in the next section, we're going to use one of the library functions called square root, and this is a fairly common function. You're just going to follow the process. Declare a variable named myNumber in step A, so that would be an integer, and a real one called square root. Now real because a square root can very often be a decimal, so we'll leave it at that. Now we're going to take in a number, and then in step C what we're going to do is call the square root function to determine the square root of my number. So that would be something like my number is equal to square root function, except with the square root it does take an argument, and the argument that it's going to take is my number. I'm sorry, here we're setting whatever that returns to the variable square root, and then you're simply going to display the square root value. Now the next section is on formatting, and one of the common uses of formatting is the currency function. So this will be similar to how you use the square root function, except you call currency, and that will be done in step D. You can see the function call listed there.